Hi, hello, welcome back to our channel. So, myself J. Taslima Nasrin from GK Jain Higher Secondary School. So, here we are going to see the topic of Biozoology Standard 12. So, the topic is immunology. This topic is under the lesson Human Health and Diseases. So, what is immunology? First, we have to think what is immunology. So, now we have crossing a very pandemic situation. So, we are well known to this word, immunology. The study of immune system, which is called as immunology. So, what is immune system? Noy edirpu sakti, the ability to fight against the disease in our body. So, that is called as immunology. So, immunity, that is what? The ability to fight against the diseases. So, what is antigen? Ag is antigen. Ag is what? Antigen. So, what is antigen? A foreign substance which enters our body. It may be a protein, monosaccharides or any other thing which enters, the foreign substance which enters into the body. So, antibody. So, as the entry of antigen, as a response of immune system, antibodies will be produced to fight against the antigen. So, next is autoimmune diseases. What is autoimmune diseases? So, we all know what is antibodies, right? Now only I have said. So, the antibody has a special capacity that it has to identify the cells which is foreign antigen or which is our own self cells. So, the antibodies sometimes things like it identifies our own cells as antigens and kills our own cells. So, that type of diseases which results in diseases. So, that type of diseases which is called as autoimmune diseases. So, I am again explaining about autoimmune diseases. Please listen. Autoimmune diseases are nothing. It is the antibodies which identifying our own cells as antigens and killing it. So, this type of which gives rise to various diseases. So, this type of diseases which is called as autoimmune diseases. So, now we will go deeper into the topic immunity. So, immunity which is of two types, innate and acquired. So, innate means the immunity which occurred before birth. So, that is the fetus formation. A mother will have a fetus formation in the womb, right? So, that time the immune cells has been came from the mother. So, that type of immunity which is called as innate immunity, and acquired, the immunity which develops after the birth. So, that is in the ages. So, which is called as acquired immunity. So, now we will see the innate immunity. So, innate immunity, the anatomical barriers is skin, mucous membrane. So, skin, we all know the largest organ of our body is skin. We have hair follicles in the skin, right? So, when the foreign elements enters into the skin, our hair follicles will block that antigens to enter into the skin. So, immediately we will be doing like this, the antigen will not be entering into our skin through our skin, through the body, in our body. So, next is mucous membrane. Mucus is the mucous membrane which is present in the nose. So, there will be also the hair follicles will be there, villi will be, the small hair like projections called villi will be there, which will not allow the pathogens to enter through the nose. So, that is what mucous membrane. So, that and all comes under innate immunity. So, next is temperature, low pH, chemical mediators. So, these temperature, they are body temperature which literally kills, which did not allow the pathogens to enter into our body. So, pH, for different organism, different pH we have. So, the pathogens which entering into our body will be, will not have the ability to live in our pH. So, like that. Chemical mediators, the chemical mediators or the protein molecules which are produced in our body already there. So, like that the chemical mediators will be. So, next is phagocytic property. Phagocytic means what? Death of the pathogen. So, our immune system boost up and the death of the organism will take place with the help of the cells called monocytes, neutrophils. What are these cells? These are the cells types of WBC. So inflammatory barriers. So inflammatory barriers means because of the fight of antigen and antibody, vascular fluid will be emitted. That time inflammation being so that type of inflammation will take place. It will produce some heat thing. It will be heat, slightly heat, because of the death of antigen takes place in that side. So inflammatory barriers. So what are the barriers for innate immunity? Anatomical barriers is skin and mucous membrane. Physiological barriers is temperature, low pH, chemical mediators, and phagocytic barriers is monocytes, neutrophils, and so many types of cells. And the inflammatory barriers, as usual, I have said. So next, we have completed with innate immunity. So now we are going to see acquired. What are the two components for acquired immunity? Means cell mediated and antibody or humoral mediated. One is cell mediated and another is antibody or humoral mediated. So cell mediated means what? Antibody will not be produced. Here in this type of immunity, antibodies will not be produced. It will take place with the help of T cells, macrophages, NKC means natural killer cells. T cells, macrophages and natural killer cells. Cell mediated immunity will be taking place with the help of these cells. So here AB or humoral mediator means antibody production will take place. It takes place with the help of B cells and T helper cells. We will be studying about the immune cells later in this chapter. Okay, so now there are two types of acquired immunity. One is active immunity and passive immunity. There are two types of acquired immunity. One is active and another one is passive immunity. We will be seeing the active and passive through a difference box. So host, it needs a host. So active and passive. So active means in our body. If a pathogen entered my body means I am the host, alright? So active immunity, my body immunity. Okay, so passive means injection. So what are vaccines? Vaccines are given to boost up the immunities, right? So that type of external immunity is passive and internal immunity is active. Okay. So here active, host is required. So here in passive there is no host required, right? So here active, what happens to active immunity means antigen will be present inside our body. Here passive immunity, antibodies are given to us. To boost up the immunity, antibodies are given to us through the form of vaccines. So here it will be, antigens will be effective in protection. That is our immune system. Our immune system will be very effective. So here the injection, that is vaccines, are less effective. So it has memory cells. It doesn't has memory cells. So our immune system, our body immune system has memory cells. What is memory cells means? If a pathogen, if we are facing a bacterial disease means we have produced memory cells for that particular disease. So when we are exposing ourselves second time to that same bacteria means our memory cells will coming up and it will digest or it will phagocyte that type of bacteria immediately. Within 2 to 3 hours it will be done. So memory cells will be there in active. There is no memory cells in the vaccines and all. So dose. So memory cells we have booster doses. Here dose less effective. For any type of disease the doses will be given. That's it, which is very less effective. So here active immunity, which is short period. It will be very short period and it is immediate. Immediate effect it will be giving. After few hours only our body immune system will work. So short period it is an immediate effect. After the vaccine has been given it will start working immediately. So that is what active and passive immunity. So what are all the things we had seen? What is immunology? What is immunity? Antigen, antibody, or autoimmune diseases. So under immunity there are two types, innate and acquired. So innate we have seen many barriers, and acquired there are two components, cell mediated and antibody or humoral mediated. So we also have seen two types of acquired immunity, active and passive immunity. We have seen the differences between active and passive immunity. So now we will be discussing about the immune response, how the immune response takes place in our body. We will be seeing those things now.